Hi, everybody. My name is Joe. I'm a doctoral student studying clinical psychology, and this is Psych Made Simple. Today, we're going to continue our series on acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, and we're going to focus on this top concept, which is contact with the present moment, or being in the now. And this is a little self-explanatory, but it's really important for both the acceptance of experiences and thoughts that you are having, and it's also important for being able to commit to actions that are associated with your chosen values. So it's really important for both kind of sides that we've already talked about in previous videos. Now, I wanted to just talk a little bit about how our mind processes things that happened in the past, that are going on in the present, and that are going to happen in the future. And what I would argue is that when our minds are focused on the past or the future, a lot of times there's a lot of negative feelings associated with it, and even things that seem positive are somewhat negative in terms of how it affects our current everyday experience. So, of course there's certain things that are self-explanatory being negative, such as when you're really dwelling on a thought of pain of someone that you lost in the past, or shame about previous experiences, or anger at someone else. Then over here, that would be examples of things in the past causing a lot of negative experiences in our lives, and maybe holding us back from having genuine feelings or experiences, whether those be, sometimes those can be negative, but I think it's worth kind of focusing on and promoting those genuine experiences that are happening in the moment, compared to those things that are kind of our idea of what happened in the past, that can a lot of times be distorted in some way and seem even worse than what really happened, and continue to affect us and kind of hold us back from being the best version of ourselves. And then similarly, worries about the future, things that you need to do, responsibilities you have, and also what might happen, worrying about a natural disaster, or worrying about, some betrayal or something like that. Those can hold us back from enjoying things in the moment, or just having those genuine moments in the experience. So I would say these things on the top really serve as distractors from genuine experience. And then on the bottom, I would say that these two things, a feeling of nostalgia that a lot of times is interpreted positively, right? Of oh yeah, I used to love whatever happens in the past, this certain life experience I had in the past, or playing a certain game in the past that was so fun, or just spending time with people you love in the past. And similarly, over here, excitement about the future, right? That can seem really positive too, and a lot of times it is. And thinking about oh, I'm so excited to see this movie, I can't wait. But a lot of times those manifest as almost discounting what's happened in the past, what's happening in the present, and focusing too much on those past or future experiences, rather than allowing us to genuinely experience what's going on in the moment. And that can kind of distort our perception of what's going on in the moment. So we're oh, things were so good in the past, or oh, things were so great or things are going to be so great in the future. It prevents us from genuinely enjoying what's going on right now. And I wanted to talk about one exercise, and kind of walk through one exercise that I think is really helpful to bring us back to the present moment when our mind starts to wander towards things in the future or things in the past, as we just discussed. And the idea is to kind of notice our 5 different senses, and a lot of times it's called a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, or here I call it a 5 senses exercise. I like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because it's easier to remember and kind of helps you remind you of the steps of the exercise. So the idea is that you start by noticing 5 things you can see. Now, for me, that is, a mirror on my wall, the lights next to me, some ridges in the paint on the wall, my computer, and my mouse. So those are 5 things I can see in the room. And next, we're going to look at, or kind of observe 4 things that you can feel. So you can do this along with me if you'd like. For me, I can feel my shirt touching my body. I can feel my socks on my feet, making my feet kind of warm. I can feel the wood, or probably fake wood, on my desk. And I can feel those paint ridges that I talked about a minute ago. Next, we're going to think about 3 things we can hear. Focus on those. I can hear my computer fan buzzing. I can hear a car going by outside. I can gently hear the ceiling fan in the room going. And then two things you can smell. I'm not that good at smelling, but I feel like, I got some coffee here. I can smell the coffee, and I can smell that, this shirt was recently in the wash, so it smells pretty good. And then one thing you can taste. So, as I said, I'm drinking coffee, so I can kind of taste the coffee on my tongue. And I think doing this exercise, walking through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engaging all your different senses, can help bring you back to the present moment and not worry about things that happened in the past or worry about things that might happen in the future, but just focusing on what you're feeling right now. Because ultimately, those things that our senses, that information our senses are giving us, that's what's real and that's what's here with us. And those things that happened in the past, they did happen, but a lot of times if we dwell on them, that's, dwelling on some idea of them that we have that can be distorted, and it can prevent us from genuinely experiencing what's going on now. And similarly, focusing on what's going to happen in the future can hold us back from those genuine experiences in the moment. So if you find yourself really feeling some negative way about what's happened in the past or worrying about what's happening in the future, I hope that this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise can be helpful for you to bring yourself back into the present moment and focus on what you are genuinely experiencing right now. Thanks as always for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and leave a comment if you have any thoughts or questions, or if you have any suggestions for future videos. And have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week.